Which one's yours? I usually shut it off.
Then you get some new blood in the lineup tonight. Excited by that?
I am. Seen a little bit of Chaput, but anxious to see him play again. Bjorkstrand, I've heard a lot of good things about him throughout the year. And then Ramage is a guy that I really don't, not too much conversation on him. Anxious to see him play. At this time of year, we want to see some of the kids play, but also keeping in mind that there's a lot of playoff races going on here, and so we need to play the right way, but also have to think about ourselves a little bit and trying to assess some players.
And the Redmonds called up Mantha. It was stated or implied at least that they wanted him to be here for a while, that this wasn't just a pop-up back now. Any assurances to these guys that this is a longer look?
I don't know, but it's not going to be one game. I'll give you that. It's not just going to be one game and you're out of here. We want to give a true assessment, at least for me. I just want to see him play, and you can't do that in one game. After these next couple of days, we play a lot of games. Won't be much practicing time, just playing games, and it's for me, and not totally understanding the whole organization because I haven't had a camp here. I'd like to see him be here for a bit, and we'll bounce some guys in and out of the lineup to give them some time. And again, I have to start looking towards next year. That's where I'm at in my mind, although trying to play hard every night here.
That was going to be my question, John, is how much tinkering now, how much experimentation is going to go on here over the next
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a juggling act because I've been on the other end of it, where teams are fighting to get in, and you want, I know there's a couple of teams want us to beat Detroit tonight. And we also have to keep that in mind to keep the integrity of it all. But we also have to think about ourselves a little bit. So every time we go out there, we try to win the game. And that's certainly going to be my focus as a coach. But I also have to have a long-term view as far as getting ready for next year and where we all sit. Some guys are playing for their jobs that have been with the team this year. These guys here, young kids, are trying to make an impression as we enter a camp next year. So a little bit of both.
Well, obviously you're dealing with the youngsters who are coming up, but also moving some veteran players around and just trying some different things with them as well.
I've wanted to see Jenner play center. I don't like breaking up that line. That's been a really good line, Dubinsky, Jens, and Cam. But we have a dozen games or so here. I want to see Jens play center for a number of games here. And it's just in my mind, I want to see what our center ice is as we go into camp next year. Maybe Jens is in that type of situation, playing center. Played it before he came here. Those are some of the things that we'll go through as far as moving bodies around.
John, what can a young guy do to catch your eye when he comes up like this and gets thrown in? What are you looking for most?
Well, the most important thing is I'm not going to make an assessment on good or bad in 1 or 2, 3 games. The most important thing as coaches are concerned, we'll give them a foundation of how we play, especially away from the puck. Just give them what our defensive coverages are and what our forechecking is. But then we try to get out of his way and let him play. A guy like Bjorkstrand, I'm getting him right on the first power play. And let's see what he has there. He's going to play with probably Doobie at left wing and Wenny in the middle. I have him with Doobie because I want Doobie to instill some leadership and lead some of the kids and maybe get them a puck occasionally during the game tonight and try to help them along the way. So it's not one particular thing. I just want them to play so I can just make a judgment on what they are as a player as we start seeing them.
Will Michael draw in as well?
Excuse me?
Will Chaput draw in as well?
He'll play center ice, and he'll probably start with Soupy on the left. And I'll bounce. Calvi's there right now, but I'll probably bounce some people around. I'll probably bounce some of the lines around during the game. But I want to see Chaput in the middle, and we'll see what his wings are as we go through the game.
I've heard you say a few times that you don't want to know about these guys.
I don't.
How far do you go with that? Do you know, look, it's got to be a point. Do you not talk to Jared Bednar?
I've talked to Beds once this year, and total. And well, a couple times, but not so much to talk about players. I don't want any information because Beds may see it differently. It may see something different in a player, and it's human nature. When someone says he's this, you start looking for that, and you almost talk yourself in. And you're seeing things, and you buy into it. I want a clean slate, and so I've always gone about it that way. I don't like a lot of conversation. Beds is grinding away down there with his staff. I like to leave him alone. There's not a lot of discussion, and I get criticized for that quite a bit. I know I did in Vancouver. They killed me out there because I didn't talk to the coaches enough. And I know what the mindset of the coaches are there. When we need to talk, we'll talk. But I want a clean slate as far as I want to make my judgments on these guys when they come to the National Hockey League.
So how does it feel like this happen? Do you say, I want a skill guy, I want a centerman, and I want a defenseman?
This is with Yarmo and Billy, the coaches. JD's involved in it. We've talked about our center ice position, what it's going to be next year. Chaput, I only saw him for a little bit. I wanted to see him again. Bjorkstrand is one that has always been curious for me because I've heard a lot of good things about him. And again, there it is. I've heard a lot of good things about him. I need to see him play. I don't care about his stats in the American League. I don't care what's going on down there. Sometimes players who stink down in the American League are better in the National Hockey League. You got to be really careful how you judge these guys. So that's why I want to see them, and vice versa. They're good in the American League and they can't play in this league. So I just want to see them myself.
Chaput has played almost exclusively fourth line when he's been
Yep.
in the NHL. He's kind of a scoring guy.
Yeah.
Do you want to see him in a higher level role at some point here?
He may. Tonight I'm not sure because I got Jens in the middle and I'm looking at some different things there. But we'll see as we go through the games, as we go through here and see where it ends up.
Where's Ravage going to play tonight?
Well, we're probably not going to have Toots either tonight. He's sick, and we're not sure as far as another call-up coming there. He'll be here today. I'm not sure who it's going to be. And once we figure out who our six are, we'll determine our pairs and go from there. And that may change during the game too, Rems. Depends on what they do with their lines. They sometimes they load up a line, sometimes they split them up. We'll make that call as we go through the game.
You'll definitely go with 6 defensemen.
Definitely be six. There will definitely be 6D. Yeah.
Are there more guys down there you want to take a look at for the season?
Well, I go on the recommendation of Yarmo and Billy. They're the ones that see him most, that are deserving, and so we'll talk as we go through here. We've talked about a couple other guys as we go through. We'll just go day to day with that. But it is important, I think, that we look at some of these guys in this type of situation that we're in. Good. Thank you.
Thanks.